Well, sorry guys, I left my book downstairs, so I guess I can't do the second part of the Harry Potter review. But I do have this wand. Wait. Okay. Okay, Avada Kedavra. Avada Kedavra. Sabla fruit. Hell Aha! I have got it. It's really coming in handy. I understand why people like magic now. Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my video. Today I'm going to be covering the world building of Harry Potter. So, let's get right into this. So, I heard before reading this book that the best part about this book is the immersive world it creates. And honestly, I truly believe that the world building and the world that J.K. Rowling was able to create is, quite frankly, the best part of this entire book. It's a very fascinating world. There's, a lot going on, and it's clear that J.K. Rowling has really thought out this world. I notice this a lot in books. Authors don't necessarily really think their world before creating it, or they don't put a lot of thought into it, and J.K. Rowling put a lot of thought into her world, and I really honestly however, as I said, I do really like this world, but I do have complaints about it, mostly on how J.K. Rowling introduces the world and talks about the world, but I'm going to be talking about more of that in my next video on the writing and how she does all that. But for this video I'm going to be talking about the world. So even though I really enjoy this world, there are a few things I don't like about it, and they cause plot holes and plot inconsistencies, so I really want to talk about those. One thing, the wizarding world is amazing. Why have the human world? And I know what you might be thinking, like, well, she needs the human world because, Harry Potter and an entry point and everything, and, not everyone wants to be, are wizards and everything. And, okay, my problem with this is the whole secret society aspect, though. I don't like it. I've never liked the secret society stuff. And I've just always found it really dumb and stupid. Oh, there's this whole other world and secret society under our current society. That's just so dumb. That wouldn't ever happen. Someone would find out something. And I know they have, this, Ministry of Magic that's supposed to, erase people's minds or whatever. At least that's what I saw in Fantastic Beasts. As I said, that was the only other Harry Potter thing I've seen/read. So, I don't know, but I found it so confusing. I was reading this book and I was like, the secret has gone out, especially in cases like Hermione's parents, where their child is a wizard, but they're not. So now they know about the wizarding world, so then it's not exactly a secret. So, and then Harry Potter's aunt knew a little bit about the wizarding world and that wizards exist, basically. Again, and she's a muggle, so yeah, that's it's very annoying. It causes so many problems, and so many problems can be fixed with this too. It's just why do this? I honestly find it lazy world building. I hate it when they do that. It's you can only find a good entry point, and you can only explain the world if you're telling it to your character, and you don't know anything about the world exists. And then Harry Potter's used this entry point character, and I don't like it. You can still do all that. It's just, you can still have the society mostly like ours, but at least the people know about the wizarding world. You can even have a separate between the human worlds and the wizarding worlds. If the human world knew about the wizarding world, but maybe they don't know everything about it. It's kind of the wizarding world is its own country within the country of England. And wizards are members of that society and stuff. And it could just be something like that. And it's not, and I don't like that. I would not do that. I would change that up and just have it so it's this whole world, but it's another side of the world. That is way more interesting than it's it's just completely this other world, also living under this, but also no muggles know about it because reasons, but some of them do know about it, but know. And also, having Muggles know about the Wizarding World, not so much knowing everything about the Wizarding World, but just knowing about the Wizarding World in general, would make everything make so much more sense. Okay, first of all, if Muggles knew about the Wizarding World, that would take care of why the Dualies keep Harry Potter like so like isolated in his room and like school, like the house and school. Like that's basically all he goes, except for in chapter 2 when he goes to the zoo for the first time. But he says like that's like the only time he ever went out. And like if Muggles did know about the Wizarding World, not wanting Harry Potter to go anywhere would be like, that would explain it, because they didn't want to accidentally run into any wizards or anything like that, and why they kept him like so isolated and locked away. That would have made way more sense. And I know the Dualies know about the Wizarding World, but like, if everyone else knew about it, it would make more sense why they kept him isolated. And also, if people knew about the Wizarding World, the idea of like the people in like wearing robes walking around would kind of make more sense. And like, I just never understood it, because in the first chapter, the Dualies are kind of like, oh, these like weird people like in robes, like this is strange and everything. But like you hear like multiple times that like people from the Wizarding World go into like the human world like all the time. Like how does that work? Like it wouldn't be weird. Like if this happens a lot, which the book makes it seem like it does, it wouldn't be weird. But they're just like, nah, it's weird. Because I think they think the reader thinks it's weird. And maybe, but like if you set this up in the book that it's just like this, then it doesn't feel weird. It makes sense. It's, you know, part of this different world. It would also make more sense why people are so shocked when Harry doesn't know everything. Because, like, there's other, like, everyone's like, oh my god, you don't know anything? And it's like, well, and then Harry's like, oh no, I don't know. Like, he didn't even know he was a wizard or that there were wizards. That's, I mean, again, that would make Hagrid's reaction, like, so much more like, what? You don't even know what wizards are? Like, what? This is crazy. And yeah, so on and so forth. Or, even better, J.K. Rowling could just know that Harry knows that wizards exist, but he doesn't realize that he's a wizard. Like, maybe, you know, his aunt and uncle just, like, basically, like, push it out of his mind or whatever, and stuff like that. So, again, you could have it where, like, he knows wizards exist, and then you wouldn't have to re-explain that, because they do basically explain it in the first chapter. So, you wouldn't have to explain that again. That would take care of that problem, but that's, again, more of a writing problem. But that was my one big complaint. Also, it would clear up, if people knew about the Wizarding World, then it would make sense for people who have Muggle parents to know what to do. Like, if, that was another thing. It was just a plot hole and world building thing, and it's like, but like kids with Muggle parents, like how would they react? Like, they would be completely opening up to this completely new world. Like, how would they sort of react? And I touched about this a little bit on the characters because of Hermione, but honestly, it would just make more sense if the Wizarding World was at least known by the outside, you know, the human world, the Muggle world or whatever. So people like Hermione, whose parents are Muggles, can, I mean, like, they know about the Wizarding World's existence, like, oh my god, like, my child's a wizard, and oh my gosh, she got into Hogwarts, like, that's really cool. And again, even if, like, they just, like, Harry Potter doesn't need to know about Hogwarts, and again, because that would make sense because his aunt and uncle. And that would also solve, it could also be a reason why Mr. Dooley hates the the wizards so much and wants to keep Harry Potter away from that. Like, maybe, you know, wizards, because they are known to the humans, like, maybe he has to, like, compete with wizards for, I don't know, like, drilling, because, you know, wizards can just do magic and stuff and all that, and maybe that could be a reason, or, you know, whatever. Maybe, like, his biggest competitor is a wizard. I don't know. But again, that could add more layers to the book and everything, and it would make characters better. It would just make everything better if that one detail. And also, quite frankly, the whole, it's a secret world that no one knew about and it had absolutely no effect on regular society is kind of BS. Like, come on, this has to have effect. You can still make Harry Potter's world, you know, familiar to our modern worlds, but with just some differences. I mean, it's already like this basically. So, of course, most of the book takes place at Hogwarts. And again, I find Hogwarts very interesting. I love the little thing with the painting. And so it's like a talking painting, and like you have to say a password to like get into like the Gryffindor like headquarters, and I guess both Slytherin and Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw also have something like that. At least I'm guessing. And I found that super cool. And all that, the Forbidden Forest, like outside the school, that's pretty cool. And also kind of a cool setting, like this like magical forest, like that's pretty cool and everything. And I just found those really cool and interesting, and they were very different. And I mean, a lot of books and movies kind of since then have sort of tried to copy off of like Hogwarts and everything, because of course it's so popular. But of course, like, you know, Harry Potter's the original, so like, you know, and it is cool, and I do find them really interesting. Though the only thing that I found bothersome about like Hogwarts and how it's set up and everything were the houses, because first of all, I know a lot of people like the houses, and like the idea of the houses is really cool, like, but there's so many problems. So first of all, in this book, they really only talk about 2 houses. Like, why have the other 2 houses, like Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff? Like, why would you do that? Like, they don't ever talk about them. Like, literally, all they mention really about Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff is that they're houses, and that Hufflepuff is, like, people who are, like, loyal, and Ravenclaw is, like, people who are, like, smart. But we don't actually meet anyone from the Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, like, group. Maybe some of the teachers were, but I don't remember if they were or not. I think all the teachers we met Gryffindor or Slytherin. My problem with that is that those weren't developed at all. We don't know any people from that. You know, it's really dumb. Like, if you're not going to use them, why put them in there? Maybe they're going to be used in later books. I sure hope so, because if they're not, like, what the heck? It's really dumb. And also, I think it causes problems, the whole fact that they're all, like, so separated. Like, the idea, like, they have, like, their own, like, dorm rooms and stuff, like, that's cool or whatever. Why are, like, all their classes separated, and they, like, absolutely, like, never see each other, like, they sit at different tables or whatever, and all. And I talked about how Hermione was, I think she was put in Gryffindor simply because J.K. Rowling wanted to make her a main character, and that's why she was, and she just wasn't thinking about, you know, when she was creating them, you know, Ravenclaw intelligence or whatever. And, which, that was kind of dumb. I know other people have pointed that out. I think this could all be solved if they just had classes with, like, Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws. Like, you don't really have to have, like, a main character be a Hufflepuff or a member of Ravenclaw, but, like, you know, like, maybe, like, a side character, or maybe, like, they have a class with them, and, you know, you could say, like, what are the people from Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff raised their hand and said something, like, I don't know. At least, you know, you get to know them and everything. Like, Harry mentions, like, at one point that, like, even the Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws aren't talking to him anymore, and I'm just sitting there like, did they ever talk to him to begin with? If you're not going to explain it, don't put it in there. You're not going to do anything with them, and they really didn't. Except, I guess, more competition, I suppose. Again, the closest thing, and then Ravenclaw's mentioned because they play against in Quidditch, but, like, that's, I mean, you don't even really know any of the team members, and Slytherin and Gryffindor had a class together, but, like, Gryffindor didn't have a class with anyone else. What? Who knows, but maybe, again, maybe it'll get better. If they just mingle together, it could solve it, and then, like, Hermione could be in Ravenclaw, which is where she belongs, and they could interact more. And the reason why they don't really know each other earlier on, and they don't really communicate, is because they're in 2 different houses. There, you have more conflict, and it makes more sense, and I wish they did that. So also, I want to talk about the magic system in this. I don't usually like magic systems that there's, like, no real restraints to it, like, not really strict magic systems, like, really broad magic systems, and there definitely is, like, some rules to the magic and everything, which, thank God, but the magic did sometimes feel a little plot conveniency. Like, the invisibility cloak, I mean, it was just like, hey, now you don't have to worry about getting caught, except for that one time you do get caught, because you leave the invisibility cloak up there. Great. Just great. But, I mean, overall, it wasn't really bad. And I do find the, you know, magic system intriguing enough and everything, and I like how it's not just, like, just magic. Like, there's magic, like, there's magical items, there's just, you know, you can do magic, there's potions and everything, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's the magic system is honestly, like, not my favorite part, but again, I'm not a really big fan of, like, unconstrained magic and everything, and, like, so many people, like, knowing how to do magic or being able to do magic. And also, like, it made me question, because there's all these, like, different types of magic, and it makes me think, like, could muggles use the magical items? Could muggles make potions? I know, like, a muggle probably couldn't use, like, a magic wand or anything, but, like, could the muggle use, like, the mirror? Or, like, could they use the cloak of the invisibility cloak? Or, like, could only, like, wizards do that? Or wizards and witches do that? Like, I don't know. Those are just, I guess, a few questions. Again, maybe those will be answered later on in later books, or maybe they won't be, and I'll just be asking them in every single video. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button to see more from this channel. I will post part 3 of this, which will be on the writing in this book, next Tuesday. I would definitely check, if you haven't already, check out part 1. I will leave a link down in the description and also a card somewhere around here. Also, my writing partner and I have a website and a blog that we post on once a month. I check that out. That is also in the description below. Check us out check myself and Grace on Facebook at Carmen.Thompson. And I will see you all later.